metabolic medicine at the George Washington University. I'm also the medical education director for the Metabolic Medical Institute. We have a very exciting upcoming weekend at the very end of October and beginning of November in Miami. And we'll be covering a number of important topics. Today we have a very special guest, Dr. Cavalieri, who's a professor at University of Nebraska. His work has primarily been on the role of environmental toxins with regard to their impact on hormone metabolism, and he's been able to publish some very, very important papers on the ways in which estrogens in particular are affected by environmental exposures. This is, in my estimation, cutting edge. It's incredibly important both for the research sciences as well as the clinical sciences, and we're delighted to have Dr. Cavalieri speak with us today for a few minutes on the work that he's done and to preview the information that he'll be presenting at our upcoming conference. So thank you, Dr. Cavalieri, for making time out of your busy schedule to speak with me.
No, it's a great pleasure for me to be invited because it's the first time that we present that the cancer, we know the etiology of the major cancer and we can prevent it. You know, this is unique. You know, nobody accept this since long time. We have been neglected, and we are resolving the problem of cancer, and we feel very strong because we have already had the major results that they point out that the estrogens are the initiators of the major human cancer. And we have the evidence. I will present the evidence for 5 of them, and is the breast, the prostate, and is the non-Hodgkin lymphoma, the thyroid, and the ovarian cancers. We know that they are the estrogen that they initiate cancer. Practically, I don't want to appear immodest, but we think that we are resolving the problem of cancer. It is very close to us, and I am very happy to present that for the first time in Miami.
And Dr. Cavalieri, what were some of the early findings? How did you get involved in this type of research, and what initially led you down the path to begin considering exposures in the context of hormonal disruption and how that might lead to cancer? How did you get involved with that?
Yes, it's very good. You know, we don't know all the factors that they render the estrogen become carcinogenic compound. Naturally, they are among the factors, they are the normal one. They are the aging and genetics component. The factors they can be the lifestyle, the environmental style. All these, they are the factors that they can provoke the initiation. But what goes on to initiate cancer is that the estrogen, they are no longer their metabolism balanced, but become unbalanced, and it means that it produce one of the metabolites is called 3,4-quinones of the estrone and estradiol, and these 2 compounds, you know, they are carcinogenic, and they cannot, and if the organism cannot control the reaction with DNA in a certain amount, you know, we initiate cancer. So practically, we have the solution for cancer, and the only solution is prevention, because we have to avoid that the estrogen become carcinogenic in our body. And we are the only one in the world that has done this, and we are not accepted, and we have a lot of difficulties, and the center of this work is based on the adducts that the estrogen form with the DNA. These adducts, they are called depurinating adducts. And this is not only for the estrogen, but for all other compounds, for example, the polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. And we have discovered that in 1995, and still today they are not recognized in the scientific literature. And that is the drama of all the situation. And these adducts, they are the ones responsible for initiating cancer in our body.
And Dr. Cavalieri,
yes, please.
I've often wondered, especially in my medical training at the University of Michigan and since in the academic circles that I've revolved in, there's often very little discussion of exposures in the role of human health, and in particular chronic exposures. The whole notion of medical toxicology, we're often taught, is about an acute event as opposed to the longer-term impact that phthalates and PCBs and dioxin and toluene and styrene, and as you know, there's a long list of organophosphates and chemicals that clearly have an impact on human health. Right now in the literature, there's at least been identified around 80,000 chemicals that have been produced by humans. But what I don't understand is that there seems to be very little interest in this topic, and oftentimes even pushback in terms of its importance. From your perspective and your work, because it sounds like you've also encountered some of that resistance, why do you feel it's so hard to have a discussion, a good, thorough academic discussion on the role of these exposures and how they may impact human health?
I think this has to do with who are the powerful people in the powerful people. They will never accept that we tell them that the estrogen, they are the initiator of cancer due to the various factors that you mentioned, like the environment, but the environment is not the primary actor. They are the estrogen, the primary actors in human cancer, because the estrogen, they are there all our life, and they are normally balanced. When they are balanced, it doesn't exist any problem. But when their metabolism become unbalanced, and it means that it produces a lot of these quinone, they are carcinogenic, and they react with DNA, and at a certain moment they can initiate cancer. Good. How can we eliminate cancer? It's relatively simple. We prevent it. We prevent that the estrogen become, carcinogenic, and we have resolved the problem of cancer. And that is, it can be resolved very simply now because we have all the knowledge. And I will present this knowledge at your convention, Dr. Heyman. And I hope that it's appreciated, because it's necessary to defund immediately in all the science of cancer that the problem of cancer, knowing the etiology, is resolving with the prevention. And the cure will be done only for the people that we cannot avoid, we can not avoid to resolve the problem by prevention. You understand?
That's, of course, and it's
and we are sure 100%, because what I can tell you, cancer is a problem of chemical carcinogenesis. And to tell you how disgraceful is all the situation, they have eliminated chemical carcinogenesis at the National Cancer Institute. And that is all the most important. Also, practically in the 70s, chemical carcinogenesis was a strong branch of cancer research with the Millers and all the great scientists at that time, and after that slowly it has disappeared, and now it doesn't exist anymore. And the problem is, it remains a problem of chemical carcinogenesis, and the estrogen, they are the central actors, and the formation of these adducts with the DNA, they are the central point of all the situation. We have found these depurinating adducts in the 1995, and now after 19 years, they are still not recognized. That is the tragic thing. They are not recognized because if they recognize everybody, I would not say everybody working with adducts and in general in cancer, in that they have made all mistake because they don't serve anything, the other adducts. The adducts that everybody talks about, they are not important. The important adducts are the depurinating, and we have coined that name in 1995. So practically, I consider your invitation a very important thing for me and for the people that they will be in the audience, and I hope that we go to expand these immediately because cancer can be prevented very soon. We have already, because...
Well, we're certainly very excited to have you present your research and tell your story. I know that our audience is eager and incredibly receptive. We're all looking for better answers to help evaluate and manage our patients. And absolutely, we feel that the contributions that your research team and that you've made need to have a platform and a voice. And we feel proud to allow you to share your work with us and provide that opportunity for people to learn the details of what seems to be leading to a major scourge for human health, and for you to be able to define some of those mechanisms that are new and innovative, I think is thrilling for me, and I know is exciting for our group and for George Washington University, as well as the Metabolic Medical Institute.
Thank you very much. You're very kind.
You're welcome. I want to thank you again, Dr. Cavalieri, for your time, and I hope that people who are listening to this interview are excited about coming to Miami and listening to Dr. Cavalieri speak about his breakthrough research, and we look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks.